Hello and welcome to the Sports Centre YouTube channel. Me and Carl are talking today. Well, I wanted to talk about. I pitched this to Carl today. Um, Troy Deeney. Now, I don't mind him as a pundit. How about you, Carl? You, I know
I'm a, I'm a, I'm a big fan of him actually. Apart from he sounds like his nose is constantly blocked. Apart from
because
that, I'm actually a big fan of him.
we're quite opinionated out when it comes to us pundits. Yeah, I don't mind him at all. Think he's all right.
He's fair.
Yeah, he's fair. He don't beat around bush. Because he's quite an ex-player that's just come recently out of the game. He gives you a little bit more than what some pundits that haven't played football can. But anyway, I read some. I ain't actually heard um, the context of this, how when he said it, where he said it. But apparently, he said that he don't believe, and everyone's attacking him, that Mo Salah is a world-class player. Now, for me, and I know straight away you laugh at me, you're like fucking Liverpool bias, blah blah blah. But for me, he absolutely is. He's one of the best players we've ever seen in Premier League in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree. He is
Uh,
world class. I mean, there's a whole debate in there of what is world class, all this, whatever else. But for me, it's consistent. He bags goals, he scores assists, creates assists, does it for his country. He's done it in every competition. It's not just in Premier League. It's not just in cups. He does it all around.
yeah.
And when he's not in the team, you can tell he's not in the team. And like I said, the main thing is he's done it year in, year out for years. So
Well,
for me, yeah, he is world class. He's one of only a couple, I would say, in Premier League.
this is what we want to chat about in it. So I don't want to focus too much on Salah, but I just wanted to add to what you were saying. So basically, for me, it's the fact that, and I'm not comparing him to Messi at all, but if you think about the likes of Messi and Ronaldo, about what they was when they first started, so Ronaldo, a winger, turned into like one of the best goal scorers ever. He adapted his game. You know, he lost a bit of pace, so he sharpened up in the mind, making, getting them half yards in the box and stuff. And for me, Salah's doing that now. Like when he first come to the Premier League, or especially with Liverpool, he was pure pace. He was getting at people, just rapid pace. Whereas now he's lost that yard of pace, so he's finding ways and he's evolving ways into being a better player. And I think that's what sets aside your elite from your good players.
I can't disagree.
Yeah. So that then made me think of, and I want to just think about just Premier League in general. But is there any other world class players currently operating in the Premier League?
Um, I would say probably De Bruyne, but he's probably was world class. He's probably is he still? Don't know. Um,
Well, would you would
Haaland,
you would you say in his prime De Bruyne was? Yeah. Would you think that
yeah,
he
yeah, he's best in his position in the world for me.
even despite the fact that he basically can't stay on a football pitch for longer than
He
two or three
can't.
months, can he?
Well, this is why I said, is he still now? Hence why I said I think he was.
Yeah.
I think there is another debate of once you have been given the title of world class, do you keep that forever? Um, or does it become he was world class and he's just age has caught up with him, injuries have caught up with him.
Do you?
Um,
So I'm gonna throw this one in, and I'm thinking then, does it not matter then the fact that if someone they can't stay, I say they can't stay fit, but he can't produce week in week out ultimately because he's not on a football pitch week in week out. And I'm trying to think of a player like in the past that springs to mind. I'm thinking, I'll tell you
Pogba,
what.
Pogba.
See, I thought for me, Pogba was or had all the attributes to be world class, but he didn't have it up there.
Well, he'd like to fuck about a bit, didn't
I think just
he?
yeah, I think
He wasn't serious enough.
no, no. I think he was just one of these that the showbiz. He liked the showbiz rather than thinking, well, football's my bread and butter. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw a name out at you here, Erling Haaland.
Not yet.
No, I don't think so. I think world class finisher. I don't think he's a world class footballer. Far from it.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even say we're a world class finisher.
No,
No, I don't think so.
that's a big statement, Carl.
Purely because don't get me wrong, his numbers are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'd stand corrected if I could find some stats like his shots to goal ratio. He misses some absolute bangers.
Do you think he'd still
He,
be as good if he went in? I've put him in Spurs' team, you know.
yeah, that's what I mean. You put him in a team that doesn't create half as much. I mean, I know you can say, well, he was banging him in Dortmund, but come on, look at their league; it's dog shit.
Scored hat trick last
Um,
night as well, didn't he?
yeah, don't get me wrong. He constantly scores goals. Like I say, his goals, he scores loads of goals. His numbers are ridiculous.
Mm.
But I'd love to see what his numbers of goals are compared to the amount of shots he has or clear cuts. He don't. He's not as prolific, I don't think, as he's made out to be because he's constantly scoring. It's as though like that masks how many he misses.
Yeah, but I think it's a difficult one with Ireland, isn't it? Because he's so young as well. He's got a lot of time still to.
He's got every potential to become world class.
Yeah, yeah.
But really, I
Well,
think he was. Yeah, he's probably had what 4 seasons, maybe 5 seasons.
we'll see. Well, do you know what, man? I'm going to disagree with you there. I think because I don't think again it comes down to what your interpretation is as an individual. Because we all interpret it differently. But for me, he's never going to be a world class footballer. I think he's got attributes like, as I say, I think he's a world class finisher. I think he's probably the best in the business at sticking ball back at net. But in terms of being able to contribute more to a football game than that, I don't think he has it, and I don't think he ever will have it. I think he's mastered his game, and he's manufactured his game purely around scoring goals and just getting in the right moments, making the right runs at the right times. Because other than that, don't get me wrong, his movement's brilliant, but he offers very little other than that, doesn't
It's true. I mean, there were a few stats going about. I think they've been this season and last season where he's had like 10 touches in a game.
he? Yeah,
You
probably
know,
scored
that
two or
is it.
three.
And probably yeah, but scored maybe two.
Yeah,
And his other 8 were also shots at goal.
yeah.
But so he doesn't get involved, does he? He's just stay up top, mate, and just being in and around that 18-yard box.
I'd love to see him in another team, just to see if he can, and not me being bitter or anything like that towards City. But I'd love to see if he can produce, as I say, in like a Tottenham or maybe even a Chelsea, you know, someone like that. Just someone
Look, no,
not of
but
the ilk as Man City. Sorry.
I think he'd flourish in a Chelsea because there's a lot of flair. They create quite a lot, don't they? I mean, they're making Nicholas Jackson look good this season.
I know he's making us eat his words, isn't
Yeah,
he?
but you can only miss so many before you put one in.
Rodri is another one for me.
Yeah, world class.
I agree. I think you look at you could look at City, right? You can take De Bruyne out of that team, which happens regularly, year in year out, and they still win titles back to back to back. You take Rodri out of that team and look at them now. This is like this is a crisis for City, although it's not for them. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unheard of.
And I think that's how good he is. I think he's unbelievable, and I think he was. I felt sorry for him with the Ballon d'Or win. I did because obviously he was injured at the time, so not that he should have mattered. He hobbled up on crutches like, but no one just seemed to respect it. And I don't know if Real Madrid probably
Yeah,
architect, yeah, they kind of architected this whole, oh well, Vinicius should have won it, so therefore if he didn't win it, no one should have won it kind of thing. And I think absolute bollocks, mate. That guy fucking, pretty much, I won't say single-handedly got Spain to Euro win, but he was a massive part in it, wasn't
yeah, definitely. Obviously, I know we don't see a great deal of Spanish football, but what I do see and hear of Vinicius, yeah, don't get me wrong, quality player.
he? Mm.
He's not shit hot every game, is he? Whereas Rodri's shit hot every game. He does his business every game. Vinicius has quiet games.
Well, do you know what? I know I said about. I'll say, I don't think there's many more other than what we've discussed already, world class in Premier League, unless you
No,
can think of them.
I don't think there is anyone.
I think. Well, tell a lie. I think the two Brazilian goalkeepers, world class in their positions. I think Edison and Allison for me. I think you could probably throw in that mix. But other than that, there's not that many.
Van Dijk.
I will. He were on the tip of my lips, but yeah, I suppose yeah, in his position, he's probably the best, one of the best in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
for
Uh,
longevity as well.
yeah, yeah. It was a
Yeah,
shame that he got that
I'm,
injury because it
I'm
took
going
him
to
a
say,
long
I know,
time
yeah.
to come back.
But to come back at the age that he is, I mean, I don't. He's early 30s now, isn't
Yeah, yeah. I think he's 32, is he now?
he? Yeah, something like that. So he's
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said him anyway because I didn't want to say him with Liverpool connection and that.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of him. I don't rate him as much as a lot of other players, but I still can still respect the fact that he's definitely better than most, and he's definitely in the conversation for world class.
Do you know one thing? And this ain't nothing to do with Van Dijk, but it just made me think about it. Obviously, he got branded this Rolls Royce, didn't he? And like, this is one of those buzzwords now that everyone uses. All these pundits, and I'm like, fuck off, man! Just use another word, like, oh, he's a Rolls
Bentley,
Royce. What's that?
to the Bentley.
Yeah, or something like. Just you don't have to use that all the time. I've heard Danny Murphy was saying it about someone the other day. Is a Rolls Royce. I'm like, oh my god, seriously.
So, who else would you say were world class in other leagues?
Well, yeah, that's what kind of just made me think. Should we go to a See, I don't even think it's difficult because he got an hat-trick in a bloody World Cup final, and not many players do that. I wouldn't say Mbappe were world class.
I've said on previous pods, I can see him flopping at Madrid, and look at the state of him at minute. They're saying that they shouldn't have signed him. He's sulking. He's not doing it.
If
I'm
it's playing
telling
out,
you.
for me, I think next season's when you can judge Mbappe because he's been predominantly an attacking left forward, and he's always played on the left, coming inside, and now he's been asked to do a completely different role, different league, and you hear all the things about how much the Bernabeu is like a cauldron in terms of if they start turning on you, it's a not nice place to be, and he probably just is feeling a little bit of that, and I think he just needs to settle in. You know, I could be
Just,
completely wrong, and you might be right, but I think
I just
next
don't think he's
season.
as good. I just don't think he's as good as what everyone makes out to be.
No, I don't. I
I
totally
really
agree.
don't.
I
I mean,
totally
don't
agree,
get,
mate.
I'm not at all saying he's average because he's definitely not average. He's better than that, but he's definitely not worth the accolades that people give him. I don't
I'm,
think.
I never rated Neymar as much as what people rated him.
The most overrated player in the world. In my whole lifetime.
Yeah,
I can't stand the guy. I think he's honestly. I wouldn't take him for free at our club. I wouldn't. I just don't get it. I don't see it. I've never seen. Yeah, he's got a trick and a skill, but does nothing with it. Just. Oh no.
honestly,
He's
mate,
one player that riles me.
I share that because as much as I know we're trying to talk about current players, one for me where everyone used to buzz about it, I'm just like, either I'm watching a completely different game to you, or you're just jumping on a little hype train here because he ain't that good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he's a good footballer. Absolutely, he's probably better than a good footballer, but. I would never put him nowhere near a world class level. Nowhere near.
It's like when they talk about the best trio ever, like Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe up front, and you're like, that's just names. I'm sorry, but that is just names because Neymar does not belong in that trio. What other one were it? Messi, Suarez, and Neymar.
Messi, Suarez, Neymar won it. Obviously, at
That
the
were another one,
time,
and
they won everything, didn't they? They were ridiculous. But look at the team at the time. You know,
but,
you've got
but exactly that brings me straight back to Haaland. You know, Neymar looks good because of the players that were around him.
yeah, yeah, no, totally.
Messi looks good wherever he goes.
Yeah.
Mbappe doesn't look. He's another one. He doesn't look good wherever he goes.
And do you know what, as well? I think a lot of it these days. I'm saying a lot of it. It comes down to the mentality of players and Mbappe's mentality. You know, but you don't know what happens behind closed doors, but all the stuff with his contract and how he held like he didn't want to play for PSG and they chucked him out. Like last season, they chucked him out and made him kind of like train on his own. And all of a sudden, they lose
You're
a
back.
couple of games and they brought him back in, and it was like, oh, all's forgiven now. And he had that club by the bollocks, did he, for a fair few
Uh,
years,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he absolutely rinsed. Well, fair play to the lad. Make as much money as you can, but again, just I think you've got to have that mentality to be world class. And I think your likes of Ronaldo's, your Messi's,
Your Henry's.
yeah, definitely. They had that mentality that set them apart from anyone else, and I just don't see that in very many footballers these days.
Well, I think if you put a blanket over Barcelona, I don't think any of them at the minute are world class at the minute because they're all teenagers. There's a
Yeah,
very, very young team. Awesome at the minute. They've come out of nowhere, but I don't think there's anyone world class in their team squad. Madrid, there's probably a couple you can maybe argue with. Um,
just speaking of Barcelona, just right quickly, did you Yamal in the Euros? Don't get me wrong, very good, but did you see all the buzz that everyone was saying about him? Like how he's one of the best players of the tournament. He's done this. I'm thinking he's played all right, but I wouldn't say he did what everyone was saying. I think everyone again just jumped on a hype train because of his age. He was playing in the Euros.
yeah,
But look, fucking hell, I wish I could do half of what he's done in his career already, but I don't think it warranted the buzz that everyone was giving him. My opinion. I don't know what you thought. Your thoughts
yeah,
were.
definitely a hype train, as you're calling it. Definitely people jumping on bandwagons. But I think because Spain was pretty much the only team that played well throughout the
Yeah,
whole tournament, and he was their standout player, I
yeah,
think. So I think that's probably why. But that doesn't mean that just because he was their better player and they were the only team that played well, it doesn't mean that he's wow.
yeah. It was a poor
But
tournament, really, wasn't it?
the standard were a poor tournament,
It
really poor.
was. Yeah. I agree.
Very, very few good games. I think maybe two or three.
Mm, yeah, disappointed really. I'm trying to
I
trying
don't think
to.
there's no one in German league. I don't think it called world class.
Well, we had this conversation, didn't we, about Harry Kane before? I
Yeah.
think similar to Haaland. I think world class finisher. I wouldn't say.
He brings a bit more to his game than Haaland, I think.
Yeah, I suppose he does. I mean, that pass he played overnight for Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, delightful. What about
Brilliant.
Lewandowski?
Ooh,
Is
he's a.
he a what? Is he a was?
I think before anything, I think he was so unlucky not to win a Ballon d'Or.
Well, he should have won it. He should have won it.
Yeah,
Disgusting how he didn't.
yeah. I don't know.
Modric.
I think Modric is absolutely. I think to do what he's done and still is doing to this day, what is it, 38, 39?
I think he's our age. Yeah, 38.
Yeah, and he's just earned himself and he got himself a new contract this year, didn't he? Another
Yeah,
year extension.
he's kept the number 10 shirt off MBAPPE, hasn't
Unbelievable, mate. And do you know what? I think never saw it when he was at Tottenham, but maybe at the time I was too young to really appreciate a player like that. Whereas now you look at football a little bit different, don't you? And you can appreciate your Van Dijks and your Modric's and your Edisons of the world. Whereas before it was just like Alan Shearer bags 30, 40 goals a season. Andy Cole bags 30, 40 goals. Oh, they're the best players ever. Whereas actually it's like, look how these guys operate around the field
he?
behind them.
Yeah.
And to say as well that he did it, or he has done it for so long in the centre of midfield for one of the best clubs in the world, probably the best club in the world. How tall is he? 5'2", 3"?
It's a bit taller than that.
Is he? He's,
Yeah,
he's, well,
it's about
he's,
5'6", but still.
he's not a big lad, is he?
No.
Do you know what I mean? I think to be able to do that and mix it with some of these big, robust players and that, fair play to him, mate.
Well, he'll have been told throughout his whole youth, you'll never make it, you're too small. He'll have
Yeah,
been told throughout his whole, and then all of a sudden in that era, there's three or four of them, Xavi, Iniesta, all
yeah,
short guys.
yeah. I think fair play to him. Really, didn't even think about Modric before they started this, but absolute, yeah, world class operator, and as well, you don't hear anything off him off the field, anything about him. You literally nothing. The guy is just like right radio silence,
Yeah,
completely
I'd like to
off.
think that's how I'd be if I were in that position. I wouldn't want to be in the limelight. I'd want to go under the radar, just do my business. Football is number one, and number two, and number three. Nothing else matters. And I think
Yeah,
I feel like Modric is that person.
I bet inside really he's absolutely buzzing the fact that he could probably go to some countries and walk down the street and might not get noticed. Whereas like your Messis and your Ronaldos, you literally cannot fucking breathe without someone wanting a picture or something or noticing you.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, I seen Trent the other day. Not me personally, but he were at bloody Manchester with Christmas market.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thought that were a bit risky for him.
In Manchester.
Well, not like because he was in Manchester, but I just thought like everyone around here is going to notice you, mate. Like, but yeah, he had his hood up, like, but even still, I just thought it's easy to notice you. But yeah.
Yeah.
Any others, Carl? Any others we're going for?
No, I think there's a lot of youth out in there at the minute. The best players at the minute are all young players. So
Is
like is it Verts, Musiala.
I think he's got potential to be.
I mean, they're young, and I don't think
Hmm.
they're world class at this age. I think they've got a bit more. They've got to be a bit more longevity in it for me.
Before we
Like
wrap it up,
Foden's another one.
do you think the standard of football is better now or worse than when we were younger? So I'm talking when we were younger. Let's go what late '90s, early '90s.
Yeah, when there's like Zidane's, Ronaldinho's, Ibrahimovic, all
Yeah,
these.
I'm just thinking
There's
like
no icons like that.
I'm thinking back and my
Rivaldo.
brain's taking me to like Euro '96. We had like 5 or 6 quality strikers for England.
It was disgusting how many strikers we had.
Wasn't it like Andy Cole and Robbie Fowler and couldn't even get a
Ian
game?
Wright.
Ian
Ian Wright.
Wright, fucking hell, Ian Wright, yeah, Jesus. And it's just like now you've got Harry Kane and then no disrespect to Ollie Watkins, but it's a big drop off from Harry Kane, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And
And then
that's
that's it. And then it's
yeah,
another big drop off to Solanke,
Solanke, yeah,
which
it's
makes me feel a
mental,
bit
isn't it?
sick. It's made me feel a bit sick that he's actually like his third choice. I just don't get it.
That's why I was just asking you then. Do you think the standard? Do you think it's the standard of football? But do you think like just footballs in general? I don't know. Yeah, maybe the standard of football. Do you think it's dropped or?
I think there's always like a fashion, a position fashion. So at the minute
Yeah.
it's all like number tens, wingers, wing backs. That's the fashionable position to be in.
Do you know
Whereas
what? Yeah, yeah,
when
makes
when
sense.
we were growing up, a lot of it I think was centre mid, or like your Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, Gerrard, Lampard. They were the position you wanted to be. Whereas now it's your Grealish, your Saka's, them positions.
Yeah,
Um,
like you're not a striker, but you're not a midfielder. You're in that attacking winger, attacking forward.
it, it
Yeah.
all comes full circle. I think it'll be. I mean, I were never a centre back, but
Well, that's
it's
why
never
we ain't got any,
it's
have
never
we, for England?
never the fashionable position, is it?
That's why I played it.
Yeah.
You got a point there. To be fair, you just think yeah, they probably like you do have fashionable like phases of positions because like we were just saying then we had loads of strikers when we were because like now we've got loads of number tens.
Loads of number
Like
tens. We've got
yeah,
loads. We had loads of fullbacks at one point. If you look at his right back, Trippier, Reece James, Trent.
yeah.
Um, I can't even think there were about 4 or 5 of them at one point. We had Ashley Cole, Wayne Bridge, Luke Shaw, Ben Chilwell, all
Now
decent fullbacks, and now we're struggling.
I'm going to say as England we can barely string a back four together now. Can we? We've got bloody Kyle
Mm.
Walker playing in centre half, but now you probably got a good point there. Actually, it's fair, but yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, fuck you, Troy Deeney. Mo Salah's world class.
Uh,
Hey. Anyway, let us know in the comments, guys, if we've missed a player out and you think's world class. Drop us a comment. Let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Catch you later.